Hello everyone. This is second chapter of our subject innovations in accounting called human resource accounting. Okay, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ half problematic ಇದೆ, half theory ಇದೆ. Only creative accounting is completely theory chapter and rest of the four chapters are half theory and half problematic. Okay, so what is it? Human resource accounting ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Intellectual property is the most valuable property amongst intangible properties. It is widely accepted fact that success of any organization, business or otherwise, to a great extent depends upon the quality, caliber and the character of people working in it. It is unfortunate that till now accountants have not been in position to evolve a generally accepted system to value and record this important asset. Presently, expenses relating to human resource organizations are charged to revenue instead of being treated as investment to the amortized over the economic service life. With the result of that, the magnitude of net income is significantly distorted. So in this chapter we are going to study all about the introduction part, meaning part, problems in human resource accounting, importance of HRA and the valuation of HRA, or we can call it as approaches for valuation of human resources. So here we have introduction, meaning and definition. Under definition, the American Accounting Society Committee on Human Resource Accounting defined it as the process of identifying and measuring data about human resources and communicating this information to interested parties. So human resource ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು, ಮಾನವ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ, ರೈಟ್? It is the process of identifying and measuring data. The process of identifying, which means it is a process of finding out and measuring data of what? It's about human resources, right? And communicating this information to the interested parties, which means reporting. Communicating here means reporting the processed information to the parties who are interested in it. So this is about the human resource accounting. It is as simple as the given definition. If you read this out 2 to 3 times, you will get to know. Next we have is definition of human resource accounting, which brings out the 3 important aspects. The first one we have here is valuation of human resources. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ, ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ದಿಂದ 3 things extract ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್. ಏನೇನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನಾವು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Next, disclosure of the information in the financial statement of the business. Obviously we have to record as we are collecting the data about the human resource accounting, which means we have to report it in through the financial statements. Okay, in simple words, what we can say, human resource accounting, it is the art of valuing, recording and presenting systematically the worth means here value of human resources in the books of account of an organization. ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. I hope you have understood this. If you guys have not understood anything, please read it out once again or text us through WhatsApp, through any media. Okay, next we have here is problems in human resource accounting. What all problems we face while writing or communicating or while accounting of human resources. Okay, the first problem here is human beings cannot be owned like other physical assets. Obviously human beings cannot be owned like other physical assets, therefore cannot command any specific value. For example, organization owns the physical assets, right? But human resource cannot be owned like that. For example, as our college, LK Khud College, has owned so many physical assets, but lecturers, professors, and other students, as they are the human resources to that institution, it cannot be owned by the college, right? So the next thing here is people are sensitive to value other place on them. A machine never reacts to an over or undervaluation of its capacity, but an employee will certainly react to such distortion, right? For example, if two employees are there who has worked perfectly, but if human resource manager undervalued one employee and overvalued the other one, this create conflict, grievances, and clashes in the organization. No one likes to undervalue or overvalue someone, right? The third thing here is tax laws do not recognize human beings as assets. Hence, human resources accounting remains merely a theoretical concept. Tax law do not recognize human beings as an asset. Every organization has its own intangible asset, and human resources are one among them. As per the tax law, human beings are not recognized as asset, though human beings are intellectual asset. Hence, human resource accounting remains merely a theoretical concept. Next thing we have here is there is no generally accepted model for valuation of human resources, and the mode of presentation has also yet to be codified. There are plenty of approach or model we can say for valuation of human resources, as these all we will study in the later we will study all these things, but the models hasn't been accepted generally and the mode of presentation has not yet to be codified. The last one we have here is the valuation of human resources depends upon large number of abstract factors not measurable in precise monetary terms. Okay, here the abstract factor means we can say amurta anshagalu, or we can say notional thoughts or notional factors which cannot be measurable in precise or exact or accurate monetary terms, right? Or we can say cash terms ನಲ್ಲಿ precise ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, fine. So hence valuation of lacks objectively and preciseness. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಿಸೈಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, next concept we have here is approaches of valuation of human resources. So what are the approaches of valuation of human resources? There are mainly four approaches. First one is historical cost approach, which has been given by R. Likert. Please remember the name of the people who have given these approaches. Next we have replacement cost approach. Third we have opportunity cost approach, and fourth one is present value cost approach. ನಿಮ್ಮ syllabusನಲ್ಲಿ present value approach is really important for the 5 marks as well as for the 15 marks. Rest of the 3 approaches are for, they may ask this for the theory part, in the theory part, but problem ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ 5 marks ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ 15 marks ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನು 2 ಥಿಯರಿ ಅದಾವು, reward valuation and the valuation on groups. This hasn't been asked in any question paper, but yet I'll send you the PDF regarding this. Please read it out. First we have here is historical cost approach. What does this mean? The name itself says here historical cost approach. So this method involves capitalizing all costs related with making an employee ready for providing services, that is recruitment, trading and developing the resources. The value is amortized over the expected length of the services of individual employees. The unamortized cost is shown as an asset investment in human assets. If the human assets expires, that is the employee leaves the firm before the expected services life period, the next no, the net asset value to that extent is charged against the current value. Okay, there are some there are some merits and demerits of it which can be asked by the RCU. You have to read it out. When I will send you the PDF, you will get to know that. Okay, next, replacement cost approach. This approach values human resource at their present replacement cost. In other words, human resources are to be valued on the basis of the assumption what would cost the firm if the existing human resources are required to be replaced with other of equivalent talented and experienced person. There can be two different concepts of replacements, namely individual replacement cost and positional replacement cost. ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಯಾರು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಎ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿ ಅದಾರ, ಈಗ ನಾ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರತ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಗ್ನ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಎ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದ ಬಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, that is called as replacement cost approach. Okay, in this approach we study that. Here we have two things: human resources replaced cost, individual replacement cost, and positional replacement cost. The individual replacement cost refers to the cost that would have to be incurred to replace an individual by a substitute who can provide the same set of services as that of individual being replaced. The positional replacement cost, on the other hand, refers to the cost of replacing the set of services required of any person in that particular position. The positional replacement cost not only takes into an account the position in the organization currently held by an employee, but also consider future position expected to be held by him. Okay. Third is opportunity cost approach. According to this approach, the value of an employee is determines according to his alternative use. Okay, in case any employee has no alternative use, no value will be placed on him. This approach specifically excludes those type of employees who can be hired readily from outside. The approach suggests competitive bidding for the scarce employee of the organization. Okay, the last present value approach. According to this approach, the value of human resources of an organization is determined according to their present value to the organization. This model has been developed by Lev and Schwartz. According to this model, the value of human resources can be ascertained by the given things. First one is, all employees are classified in specific groups according to their age and skills. You will get to know about this. You will have a complete idea about these points when you will calculate the 5 marks and 15 marks problems. Okay. The second point is, average annual earning is determined for various ranges of age. And the third is, the total earnings and each group will get up to the retirement age are calculated. So what all these 3 points are, ಏನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವ್ರಿ, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, 5 marks and 15 marks ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರಬಲ್. ಇದೇನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನ್ರಿಪ್ಪ ಏನು ಹೇಳತ್ತಾರ ಇವ್ರು ಅಂತ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ 5 marks ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಏನಿದೆ ರೀ, ಈಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಓದಿವಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ ಟಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಆರ್ ಐ ಟಿ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಐ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಆರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 5 marks ಓನ್ಲಿ. 15 marks ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್. ಈಸ್ 5 marks ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ವೇರ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ರೀ, ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್. ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ವಿ ಆರ್ದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್, ಇಯರ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಐ ಟಿ. ಐ ಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ರೀ, ದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೇಟ್ ತನಕ ಏನು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಐ ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್, ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ, ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ರೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏಜ್, ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ರೇಟ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ is given in the question. Just you have to identify and have to put the values in the formula. You will get the answer. It is as simple as that. Okay, we will study or discuss all about this formula as well as the problems in the next class. Thank you.